We had Oban Elliot on before, and I had to comment on what a wonderful jawline that he had. But the king of all jawlines, the one and only Alexander, the great Volkanovski, the former featherweight champion, the featherweight contender, UFC 314 main event, Sydney's finest, Wollongong's mascot. I don't know. What's going on, Volk? How are you, brother?
I'm good. Mascot. What's that?
Well, I don't know. I just went out of fucking adjectives.
All right, I was going to the little mascot. The little, I don't know, what would you call it? Just a little gnome mascot, I think you could say. There you go.
With St. Patrick's Day, I see you got a bit of green on.
Oh, it's actually, it's green underneath. But is that what, there you go. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing that for that.
Yeah, you did it on purpose, Volk. What are you talking about?
Yes, sorry.
Planned it out.
Jump on that. How are you guys doing?
Man, we're good, dude. I mean, we're glad to have you on the show, bro. I can't talk enough, Volk, about how great you are to watch on anything you do, man, whether it's pre-fight stuff, cooking with Volk, just your personality. By the way, congrats on being possibly the best girl dad that has ever existed. By the way, I have my third girl on the way, Volk, so I'm trying to catch up to you, but I think I was hunting for a boy as well, man. So congrats. And how are you feeling with that in camp? And I've been watching some of your YouTube stuff, man. So just thanks for coming on, dude.
No worries at all. Yeah, it's 4 girls, which is crazy. It's funny. Every time you do it, you'll hear them like, "Oh, you're going to try and go for another boy?" I was like, "Mate, I've tried more than enough times." But this one was a surprise. We were like, "Oh, okay. Well, let's see if the boy comes." Another girl. But again, all good. I'm a girl dad. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's been great. Camp's going great. Everything's going good. You know, it's as you said with the cooking with Volk. Everything outside of fighting as well has been going great. But yeah, I'm in camp, so a lot of that's going to have to slow down a little bit.
Of course.
While I get in the gym and kick ass.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let me ask you this, Volker. I'm obviously going to talk about the fight and how it all came together and your thoughts on Diego, etc., etc. God, it sounds insulting. Given the fact that you are 36 now, but what I'm saying is, like, you have such a big personality and you have such a large following. Is there, like, have you kind of thought about afterwards when you're done with fighting? Because I assume you'll be hosting TV shows in Australia, maybe even cooking shows or whatever. Has there been any kind of conversations with stuff like that? Because you are very good on camera. You've got a large following. You've got a brilliant personality. Yeah. Has there been any talks about anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things coming through. You know what I mean? Even right now, while I'm still doing my thing, while I'm still fighting, a lot of things are coming through, which is good. But yeah, man, like you're always thinking about it. I've been thinking about that sort of stuff for a while. I mean, the cooking thing's really taken off. There's a lot of opportunities that come with that. As you said, I'm pretty comfortable in front of the camera. So there's a lot of opportunities there. So it's crazy, right? Like I lose a belt, and I feel like my brand's never been bigger. You know, even coming off the 2 losses. But so do I need to keep fighting? No, not really. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, he's fighting because he needs to." No, I don't. I want to, and I truly do believe I still got it. So, and everyone has every right to be like, "Look at his age, coming off 2 losses." And the only way to change people's opinions on that is going out there and do what I plan on doing in a few weeks. So. Cannot wait to go out there and do it. As I said, everyone has a right to doubt me. Everyone knows I love this position anyway. So, yeah, so it's good because training's going great. You know, last year, leading into the camp, I had, as we know, I had a big break. Even though I was still training, I had a big break, eating well, so a little bit bigger. And then I was, even asking myself, am I still going to have it? You know what I mean? Because I've never had such a big break and things like that. So I was even asking myself that. And then I'll go, look, once I get in camp, I'll flip the switch and everything's going to be fine. And then you're like, oh, is it? Them little questions that pop in your head. And then literally I started getting in camp. I decided to bring that weight down nice and early. And very, very happy where we are. I couldn't believe it. Ahead of schedule. So early in camp, I was really fit, sharp. Everything was going. Obviously, I've always been strong, but to still be so sharp and moving so well at I don't know, a lot of people are going to say the age. I don't feel the age, but it must be a thing, right? So for people to bring that up, I feel great. You know what I mean? If this age is meant to be a factor, I'm very, very happy where we are.
And Volk, speaking of the fight, and I've been watching some of the training footage too, man. By the way, love all that stuff that you're putting out there. I think fans love to get a behind the scenes look of what goes into these training camps and traveling around Thailand, whether you're in Australia, New Zealand, all of that, giving good insight on what's going on. But when Ilya decided to be like, oh, I'm done with 145, I can't make it anymore, and that kind of gets taken away from you, and you really don't have any choice in that matter, right? If the guy moves and decides to vacate the belt and no longer wants to fight at 145, what was your feelings initially when that happened? And you go, okay, I really want to fight for the belt, and it doesn't matter. Obviously, you want to be the champion, whether it's him or anybody else, but what was your initial reaction when it's like, oh, he's just leaving and not even giving me the opportunity to potentially fight back for that? What went through your mind?
It was a slow process of figuring that out. So that helped, because if it was like, after the little face-off we did after his fight with Max, it's locked in. I had him in my sights, obviously a rematch that I wanted for the belt. That was a perfect world. And then, then he did start mentioning moving up. Wasn't sure what was going on. At the start, I didn't like the idea. Maybe negotiations, it's just maybe something like that. I don't really know the situation. I won't look too much into it. Then it started getting to a point where things were dragging on. I wanted to fight maybe that little bit sooner. And then, I wasn't sure what was going on. So then it got to a stage where I'm like, oh, well, let's just fight. Give me a fight, because I don't want to wait around any longer. As we know, I've already had a massive break. So that sort of eased that for me. That made it easy for me, because I did want that. But, then I actually found out when Dana announced it that he was vacating. So I knew it was going to be Diego, only 2 weeks before. But at that stage, I was like, come on, what's going on? I'll fight anybody, interim, whatever. It doesn't matter. Let me just fight. And, I can do Ilya later if he doesn't want to fight right now, whatever it is. So that's where we're at. So it was easy. And then I end up seeing his live, and he's like, oh, no, he's vacating, he's moving up. I was like, wow, I didn't expect him to just, even though I heard him talk about it, I knew that he wanted to eventually move up. I just didn't think he would just vacate. And he must have something locked out. Does he have that Islam fight locked in? I don't know. It only makes sense for him to actually vacate, or he really does believe he's done enough at featherweight and he just wants to chase that lightweight. Good on him, man. I'm not going to stand in his way. Obviously, I wanted that fight, but I guess I got the next best thing for actual belt. And yeah, Diego's still a young, hungry guy. The new school, as people are saying, that's something that I wanted to prove to everyone as well. Not only I could get that win back, but show you that I could still beat the new school. And Diego's still new school, so I got the next best thing, fighting for the vacant belt.
Well, mate, listen, it's a huge opportunity. And for you to come back and become the champion again, what a story that will be. Real quick, before we talk about that a little bit more, do you have an opinion or a potential pick? Obviously, you've been in there with Islam and Ilya. What do you think about that matchup? And do you think Islam should face him? Because he's saying he needs to win one at lightweight. What are your thoughts on that whole situation and as a fight itself?
I understand. Put it this way, if he was trying to hang on both belts, I don't think that was going to happen. The fact that he's vacated and the lightweight division's in a position where, I don't know, there's no real clear number one, I think it's fair. The fact that he vacated, I think that's fair. If he wanted to hang on and do the double champ thing, I think he needed to do more work. But the fact that he's like, look, I'm going to let this one go, let that division move on. I want to commit to lightweight. I think that's big. I think that's fair. So I think he sort of deserves it. How do I think that fight's going to go? Look, I have fought both of them. Islam is going to be a hard man to beat. I think for anyone, I think the only chance of him losing is someone, knocking him out, right? Someone landing something. That's what I believe. I've always believed that about myself. The only way I would lose is, someone catching me rather than actually beating me. The only person that I believe will give me that close fight is Islam. You know what I mean? And I feel the same for Islam with a lot of the opposition. I think everyone has a puncher's chance. I think that's the only way I see him really losing, someone catching him. And if anyone could do it, it is Ilya. Ilya's obviously got some dangerous hands. So for people to just count him out, it's like, man, he's got power in his hands. He's he's going to be looking for it. He's composed, and even if things aren't going his way, he's going to keep looking for it, keep trying to find it until he does or until he loses. So, he's dangerous. Maybe if the gas tank goes, we'll see when he starts, them later rounds with someone like Islam. But early on, the first 3 rounds, he's going to be dangerous. You don't want to be getting caught by any of those punches. So if anyone could catch him, I think Ilya's right up there for a chance.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You're right. I mean, and I agree with you where I think maybe there's something that we're just not being told yet, that fight maybe is getting closer. So the rumorville online is buzzing with that and potential fights that could be coming up in the future. But let's dive a little more into this one, Volk, with you and Diego. And you talk about the new school. You talk about this kind of young, hungry kid. What about his style you think is dangerous? And is there any areas in particular? I mean, you're a guy that's shown time and time again how well-rounded you are, whether it's leg kicks, mixing in your wrestling, ground and pounding guys, fighting out of close submissions, which this kid can bring to the table as well. How do you see this particular matchup playing out? And what makes him the true contender to be facing somebody with the status that you have, my man?
Well, the haircut's dangerous real quick. That is the style of the haircut.
By the way, bro, I got to say, that shit, when you start singing some emo music, I thought back to my own youth, and I'm just like, I started singing like Dashboard Confessional and shit out loud when you were doing that. You nailed it, because that's what we're all thinking. No disrespect, and I agree with you there. But you look at that kid's haircut, and that's all you think is emo and just being an emotional teenager singing. So, well done on that. Hey, not a bad singing voice either, Volk. You multi-dimensional, dude.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, I can do a few things. I mean, I can hit some notes if I really wanted. That was more just trying to hit the emo sort of, really stick to that. But I mean, I'm telling you, I'll grab the mic sometime and I'll really, really try and hit some notes. And I reckon I could surprise some people. It might not be too much of a surprise because they've heard me sort of sing, but that wasn't me really, really trying to get stuck into it. But maybe I'll do that another time. But yeah, you're right. Like full emo at the front and just cowboy at the back with the mullet. It's it's different, but I mean, he's a good dude, man. You can see him laughing about it.
Yeah, he was good. He was a good sport.
Yeah, exactly. So good on him. Nothing against the kid, but he's dangerous, right? So he's why is he dangerous? Very aggressive. So that's why he's dangerous. But I mean, it's worked for him. He's done well. But if I could tell you fighters in featherweight division that could capitalize on people being very aggressive, and they might be dangerous, but there's probably a lot of holes that can be capitalized on. Who would you think that would be? I feel like I'm definitely one of those guys. So I think if you're going to come that aggressively at me, you can catch me. I still think that's his best chance. It's weird because I think it's his best chance trying to catch me with something. Because there's no way he's beating me like on a decision, or he's going to outwork me or anything like that. So his best chance is to be aggressive, but at the same time that can be his downfall with someone like me. So it's weird, one. I feel like he has to do that, but at the same time, I can capitalize on that as well. It would be much easier if he tried to play it safe and try and beat me and then not be aggressive, right? Like I think then it's just going to be. There's no threat there, and then it's just going to be easy pickings for me. Like that's how I believe. And I'm not a knock to him, but his style is very aggressive. Even his jiu-jitsu, very aggressive. He's going for submissions. But again, as we've seen, I can really capitalize that. If you want to be aggressive like that, you're going to put yourself in dangerous positions as well if you do not get that submission. So if that submission doesn't come, be ready for me to punch that head through the canvas. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm known for as well. So there's a lot of opportunities I can capitalize on, but young, hungry, dangerous guy. And man, it's a fun one. I think he still deserves a spot because of how active he was. He had a lot of good finishes early on. He's coming off a couple of decisions, but still aggressive, still showed that he's got that aggressive style. He's always looking for the finish, and the fact that he was just taking on guys that are coming in on the day. Credit to Dan Ige for doing that as well. But we've got to remember Lopes accepted that fight as well.
Yeah.
And just things like that. He'll fight anyone, anywhere. And we know that the bosses love that, and so do the fans. So he's in the position now. Again, he's a new school. It was no surprise that he was a guy that the UFC chose to fight me for the vacant belt. I know Mosvar's name's there, but as I said, I want to be busy. So I plan on going out there, doing my thing. No injuries. Even if there's an injuries, I'll make sure I work around there, stay in good condition, so I could still be back in the octagon as soon as possible. And Mosvar, maybe he doesn't even have to have another fight. I'll keep the division busy enough where these guys that do sort of deserve, what do I do? Do I sit? Do I wait? I'll probably be fighting you before you have that next fight anyway. So you may as well fight for the belt. So I'm ready to go out there and do that same thing.
I was going to say, that's why people have got to love you, Volk. You know what I mean? There's not many people out there saying, don't worry, just wait on the sidelines. I'll get to you next.
I'll get to you.
Volk, I don't need to blow smoke up your ass. The career you've had is phenomenal. Definitely, if not the greatest of your featherweight of all time. You were undefeated for so long, defended the belt so many times. Now you're coming back, you're fighting to become the champion again. It's an emotional roller coaster, the life of a fighter. Where is the pressure here? Is it the kind of like you don't feel any pressure because, listen, I've been there, done it, got the T-shirt, I've made plenty of money, my future's set? Or do you feel a lot of pressure because it's like, hold on a minute, fucking that doesn't sit right with me, what happened in the last two fights, and I want to prove to the world? Like, what kind of is the mindset coming into this one?
I wouldn't say there's pressure. I mean, I obviously want to prove people wrong, but I've always wanted to do that. I've always wanted, that's why I wanted to fight Islam Makhachev's, even on 11 days notice. You know what I mean? The challenge excites me. So it's not like I need to prove something, the pressure of needing to prove something. I guess I've always wanted to prove myself. So it's a normal feeling for me. I've always looked for something like this to prove myself. I guess this is a lot easier because I'm coming off 2 knockout losses, so it ain't hard to find, the
motivation,
people doubting me, or you know what I mean. Yeah, that it's not hard to find, but it's just I think more of the pressure came when I wasn't really sure, like how am I going to be after my fighting? These were questions I was asking. Every fighter's going to ask themselves that. Even when you're aware of it, you start getting caught. Like as we know, there was a time where I was a champ. I was wanting to defend. Like me waiting around, I couldn't take it. I had a responsibility. I've got to get back in there, and I was, I don't know how much longer I've got. And then I'm like, being a bit uneasy in between camps. I'm like, why am I uneasy, man? What's going to happen when I'm done? All these questions are coming in my head. But the break that I had after the fights took all that pressure off because I know I'm going to be okay. Like it was great. I absolutely loved the break that I had, and now I understand why the pressure was on me. So I had a responsibility. I was fully committed to my craft, my sport. So that, and I, so I wanted to defend. I didn't want to be waiting around. So me waiting between fights, full schedule still, so I couldn't put any energy anywhere else because I was still 100% committed to the game, made it hard because I'm like, here I am investing everything right now and I don't have a fight in sight. So that was tricky for me. So I didn't get it, but now I get it. So now I know I can flip the switch on and off. I accepted the break that I had, the long break, and it was great. And I just knew, all right, when I need to switch it on, I'll switch it back on. Well, I won't say I knew, because I was asking myself, will I be able to switch it? I'm like, yeah, trust me, you will. Like, being, obviously positive about it all. And I'm glad I did, because I did flip the switch straight away, and I flipped the switch very well. Maybe because I have never had a big break like this, it made me realize, like, okay, you've had a massive break. This is a bit out of the norm. Let's go a little bit more above and beyond. Let's do like 14, 15-week camp. Let's not drink alcohol from that far out, maybe even longer. Not even a cheat meal. I haven't even had a cheat meal, proper cheat meal for like, from the fight. Like it's going to be like 15 weeks or something without a proper cheat meal. Obviously, he's still eating good, but I used to go all out on the weekends with my cheat meals. But I haven't even had one of those. So I'm like going a little bit more above and beyond. I wanted to bring that weight down. That was a decision I made early in camp so I could move through fast and sharp. And and it was great. And I just thought I'm just going to roll it on, even though my weight's good right now. I'm just going to keep doing it. I feel great. So yeah, very very happy where everything is. Very very happy with myself as a fighter right now, and as a human being, because I wasn't too sure about you. I didn't know really. You lose a bit of yourself when you're fully invested and got no time for nothing. All the energy goes into fighting for so many years. And it was like that I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't really understand myself, or who I am as a person outside of fighting. Now I know. Now I'm confident. Now I'm comfortable. Now I feel great and very very happy that I understand that now I'm going to be okay. So I'm looking forward to sailing off in the sunset and all that, but that's just not right now. I'm still the fact that I know that I'm going to be sweet later. It gives me even more comfort going in and kicking ass the next, next few years.
Yeah, kind of makes you almost want to savor it a little bit more, right? Knowing that, okay, that's waiting for me, but right now I've got business to handle. And I just got to ask, you talk about having those crazy cheat meals on the weekend, Volk. What would be your go-to? If I said, all right, right now you can have the most massive cheat meal that you can have right now, what are you going to?
Man, because I'll probably go some fried chicken. I'll probably go a bit of KFC, man.
Oh, come on, Volk. That's disappointing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. I love a bit of it because I don't know, it's very greasy as well. Because the kids don't mind it here and there. So I would even sometimes just grab a little bit of skin or have a little bite. And I'm like, oh, man, that's so good. I'd love to just dig into one of those. So that's probably the main thing because that's something I'm staying away because of, that's, you got some calories in those. Like a pizza, I've had a piece of pizza and stuff like that. So it's good. I've even been able to have a burger. Right now, I haven't really been able to just dig into a whole piece of fried chicken. So I might say, I would go KFC, a big block of chocolate, a bag of pods, mate. I'll go nuts. I mean, I'll go ham on like a family meal and pretty much do it all myself, and then just get like family blocks of chocolate and bags of chocolate and absolutely smash it. That's how I used to be.
I'm with you, by the way. I saw on your one YouTube video that you were talking, you guys were in the one aisle and you're talking about sweets and gummies and things like that. And I'm a chocolate guy. I'm a chocolate guy all day, every day, over gummies and all that kind of shit. So I got you there, Volk. You know what?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
I'll have to have a shipment of some chocolate sent to you after you get that belt back.
Let me ask you this, Volk. We were talking before about Diego Lopes, the haircut, the style on him. Brian Harrington, if you guys are there, can one of you bring this up? Number 9 in the notes. Tell me what you think of this haircut, Volk, because it's a little bit special. Brian Harrington or any of the producers there? Oh, there we go. Hold on, zoom in on John Jones there. What is going on there? He's got an arrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How haven't I seen that yet?
Yeah, bro, it's all over the place. Look at that.
Yeah,
what
he's got a whole arrow on it.
What do you make of that, Volk?
Well, I mean, so who's that again that he's doing? That's is that?
I have no idea. I'm not down with the anime
maybe or something. One of the anime things. Look, I'm not right into the anime. Who is it?
Avatar.
Avatar. Oh, okay, yeah, sure, I should have known that. I'm not right into that, so I don't get it. But I mean, I know people are fully committed, fully invested. So good on them. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna do it. You know what I mean? Actually, I was gonna say I don't have the hair to do it, but where he did the arrow, I think I've got enough hair where the arrow is, so maybe I could do it. I think I could do it if I wanted. I mean, if
that
the arrow was over
a long time ago, Volk. Come on, don't lie.
If the arrow was over here or something like that, I had got no chance.
No go.
But down the middle, the arrow, I can make it work, but I won't do it.
Hey, Volk, while we have you, and we won't take up too much more of your time, and thank you, because you are disciplined, because it's crack of dawn there for you. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. No doubt you got a full day of training coming up, and you're shooting the shit with us, and Alex is in the stream with audio only. I think he's got a phone call or a text message.
Sorry, phone call was coming through. My bad.
No, don't be silly, mate. Don't be silly. As a champion, a long-time champion, as a guy that went up to become a 2-weight division champion, what's your opinion on the whole John Jones, Tom Aspinall situation? Because, I've given mine many times. I do the podcast every week. Everyone's sick of me hearing about it. But as a guy that's been at the top of the sport, the absolute pinnacle, and held that position for so long, what's your kind of position on this right now?
It's a tricky one, right? Like, it's just the fact that heavyweight champion, interim champion. It's the only fight to make. Yeah, like I think it's got out. Like, how can you just defend your belt against someone else? That's just not gonna, not really how it's meant to be. Like, that's the whole point of interim champ. It's a fight everyone wants to see. It is probably the biggest fight they could do. So they'll be crazy to give John Jones anyone else. Like, I don't get that. Like, what else? He's not going back down to light heavyweight, is he? Like, there's no way John Jones is doing that. So the only fight to make, unless what is he going to vacate? If he vacates and just doesn't want to fight, that doesn't look good. It means you're obviously ducking Tom if you want to fight, but it's not going to be Tom. It's hard to look at it any other way. I mean, John Jones has done more than enough in his career. But right now, if you want to continue as a heavyweight champion, it has to happen. You know what I mean? It's just a no-brainer. Like, you know what I mean? But, I mean, could you imagine if he was able to do that? Go out there and take out Tom Aspinall? Like, that'll be impressive. You know what I mean? He's already got an impressive resume, but to do the new school, and then this isn't just any heavyweight. This is a very fast, explosive, true heavyweight that moves like a lightweight. You know what I mean? It's just, let's just say, very, very well-rounded. If John Jones was able to find a way to beat him, like, that's, I don't know if there's going to ever be a resume that could even come close to that because of what he's done. You know what I mean? So it's an interesting one. I get why it's a tough fight for him, but at the same time, if you're going to be the heavyweight champion, it needs to happen. Like, there's no way around it. If you just decided to vacate the belt before this happened, before there was interim and all that, I don't know, maybe you could get away with it. But I mean, right now, if you even retire, a lot of people, there's always going to be question marks around that. But if you fight someone else other than Aspinall, it's just pretty ridiculous, I think. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to have a shot at him, but I mean, it's just, I don't know, what's the point of divisions? What's the point of interim? What's the point of rankings and all that sort of stuff? You know what I mean? Like, again, I feel for him because he could be like, what do I got to prove still? But I mean, if you want to be heavyweight champion, then that's just how it goes.
Yeah, no, for sure. Sorry. Well, we don't want to take up too much more of your time, so we'll let you go. But ideal world, you go out there, you get the win over Diego Lopes. 3 more retirements. You go off into the sunset. You got 4 beautiful daughters. You're living in a beautiful part of the world. Life's good. I mean, Jesus Christ, Volk, what a future you've made for yourself. That sounds incredible, man.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, I'm feeling great. So I feel like, I want to be active. So
hold on, more than 3 title defenses? You're just going to keep going?
Oh, I feel like because I want to get 3 this year. I want to try and fit in 3 this year. So I've already got it. Like, depending, you got your Mosbar straight away. I'd love to do that, man. I'll literally hit up Hunter straight after. Again, I'm not looking past Lopes, but I'm planning on doing what I do. Then talking to them, all right, give me a date right now before I get on the mic. You know what I mean? Like, Mosbar, get your ass here, whatever date this is. Depending on how Pitbull and Yair goes. If Pitbull goes and does his thing in impressive fashion, is he going to be in a position? These guys don't need to fight again. He's going, don't worry. I mean, by the time you have that fight, I'm already looking to, you're just going to make me wait. I ain't waiting. So, you know what I mean? If these guys fight, then they want breaks. And you know what I mean? Then I'm waiting around. I don't want to wait around. So I'll be like, he's just, maybe, if you were going to fight on the, whatever it is, March, it's like, if you were going to fight on like May, don't worry. Hold on another month and you can fight for the belt. No worries. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'll keep you as busy as, and I've got work. I still got work to do and I want to do it in a pretty short time. So, like how I'm feeling right now, feeling great, so, mate, I'm planning on doing 3 this year and then we'll keep it rolling.
Let's
you gotta love
fucking go, mate. And that's why people love you. This is not a dig at your age. That's proper old school mentality, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Sitting around and waiting and all the rest of it. Right, mate, we've taken up enough of your time. Always good to see you. Love seeing you out there in Sydney. Can't wait to see you back in the cage against Diego Lopes. Thanks for your time today, buddy, and good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
No worries.
Yeah,
I
thanks, Paul.
appreciate it, mate. I'm telling you, the comeback is going to be massive. You just wait and see.
Let's go. Looking forward to it, buddy.
See you later.
All right, Volk, you're the
dude.
man. Take care. How can you not love that guy?
I don't know. I love that dude. I really do. Like, I love talking to that dude. He's one of my. I've always said I'll talk to even Christine. Because you hear me talking about, like, I watch his YouTube videos and shit like that just because he's funny. He trains his head. Yeah, I know.
What's the movie?
Well, it's Dumb and Dumber 2, right?
Dumb and Dumber 1.
Well, I mean, it's also Dumb and Dumber, meaning like we quote that one all the time. That's one of our go-tos.
Is it? Yeah, it is Dumb and Dumber.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.